26 for identification. I want you to take a look at those. Tell me if you recognize them.
Yes.
You recognize
Yes,
them?
yeah.
And what are they?
They're photographs that I took while conducting the surveillance.
And do they fairly and accurately depict the photographs and the images that you saw on October 12th of 2022?
Yes, yeah.
You're going to strike the identification of states 23 through 26.
Any objection?
None, Your Honor.
States 23 through 26 are all full exhibits.
Thank you, Judge. So starting with states 23. It's up on the screen. Can you describe to the jurors what they're looking at?
This is a photograph I took. The price chopper is sort of behind me to the left, and he is in the parking lot. You can't see in the photograph, but with what I said appeared to be price chopper employees. They're out talking by a vehicle. Yeah, that's kind of looking at. Price chopper is behind you through the parking lot.
So price chopper is behind you, and can you point out with the laser pointer where you're describing the he and who is the he?
Logan Clegg, right here.
Is it in the middle of the photograph?
Yes.
Why don't you hang on for me just for a moment? In states 24, can you orient the jurors as to what they're seeing here?
Okay, so this photograph is now back towards the front of the store. This is Price Chopper. I'm now kind of positioned in the parking lot, looking at him as he's standing in front. This is him right here.
In the middle of the photograph?
Yes.
And what is he standing in front of? What is that building?
This is Price Chopper that he's in front of.
Okay. And then you mentioned that you testified that you then followed him to the South Burlington Public Library.
Yes.
And when you responded to the public library, were you still in an undercover capacity?
Yes.
And what does that mean?
Essentially means we're not wearing any police-related items. Essentially looking like just a regular member of the public while working in a law enforcement capacity, I guess you could say.
So are you like in plainclothes?
Yeah, yes.
And when you observed the defendant in the public library, what was he doing?
He was just sitting at a desk in the back, one of the back corners of the library, with his headphones on, and he was on what looked like a laptop.
In states 25, can you describe for the jurors what they're seeing in this photograph?
This is a photograph I took of him sitting at the desk. You can't see, but sort of here behind the bookcase is a table that he's sitting at, and in front of him, you can see it's kind of plugged in here, was a laptop, essentially.
And did it become apparent that he wasn't leaving the library?
Yes, we spent a few hours in there surveilling him, and it didn't appear as though he was going to be leaving anytime in the near future, I guess is what I'll say.
Was he taken into custody by members of Vermont law enforcement on a violation of probation?
Yes.
States 26. Who's in this photograph?
Logan Clegg.
And is this how he appeared when you saw him on October 12th of 2022?
Yes, minus the hat. The hat he was wearing was no longer on his head, but other than that, yes.
Were the items that you testified about seeing the defendant having, the laptop, the backpack, were those items seized and secured to later be searched pursuant to a search warrant?
Yes, at the library, once he was taken into custody, I believe it was a member of Vermont State Police, folded the laptop, put it in the bag, and zipped the bag up, which was taken out with him, and then went with him to South Burlington Police Department once he was taken into custody by them.
Along with the backpack?
Yeah, the backpack was with him. Not with him, but it was placed in the cruiser when he was transported to be processed.
Your Honor, if I just may have one
Of
more.
course.
Detective, I have no further questions for you at this time. Defense counsel may have some.
Thank you.
Okay.
Cross-examination?
Thank you, Judge.
Excuse me.
Officer, the state showed you a couple photographs that you took in Vermont, yes?
Yes.
Now, these are photographs that you took in Vermont?
Yes.
So I'm showing you State's Exhibit 23 through 26.
Okay.
But these are not all of the photographs that you took in Vermont.
There may be some other similar ones, yes.
Okay. None of these photographs happen to show the pants that Logan was wearing, correct?
None in those ones, no.
Right, but you did take photographs in his full body that do in fact show what color pants he was wearing.
I believe so, yes.
If you don't remember, I'm happy to.
No, I believe I have, yes.
Okay. And the color pants that Logan was wearing on that particular day were black. Yes?
Yes.
All right, so they were black jeans.
I'm not sure if they were jeans, yeah.
All right, let me show you. I'm going to refresh his recollection with CD number 64. Those are the photographs you took?
Yes. Yeah, they appear to be jeans.
Black jeans.
Yes.
All right. You also testified that you looked at some different surveillance from, I believe it was Walmart.
Yes.
Approximately how many different videos or instances of Logan shopping did you watch during your investigation?
I believe I only watched the one that I initially took on the 20th. I may have reviewed some still shots of other ones throughout the course of the investigation. I'm not sure how many.
All right. Would you say more than 10?
It's possible.
More than 20?
I don't think more than 20, no.
So somewhere between 10 and 20 times you reviewed either video or still shots of Logan shopping.
I'd say so, yeah.
And in each single one of those, he was wearing black pants.
I do not recall.
You testified about homeless people in Concord in the woods, generally, yes?
Yes.
And you testified that it was somewhat unusual for them to clean up after themselves.
Yes.
All right, and so when you went back to the Arthur Kelly tent site, you testified that there was nothing there?
Not where he was staying, no.
All right, so there weren't any red Mountain Dew bottles?
No.
So you weren't able to get fingerprints,
No.
and you weren't able to immediately figure out who it was that had been there?
Correct.
And part of that had to do. Oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize. And so you didn't know who was there because that person had given you the name Arthur Kelly.
Correct.
Now, this was not the first time. You said you've been an officer since 2018?
Yes.
This was not the first time that someone had lied to you about their name.
Correct.
In fact, it's relatively common for people to lie to you about their name.
Somewhat.
Somewhat common. All right. And one of the reasons that people lie about their name is...
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance.
Well,
Maybe approach.
yes.
one of the reasons that people will lie to you about their name is because once you receive someone's name, you run it through dispatch.
Correct.
And so what you do is you essentially say it into your radio and someone at dispatch runs their name.
Essentially, yes.
Okay. And they run it through, I believe, is it the NCIS system that you testified about on direct?
When you run through someone's name, it usually does go through NCIC, but also spots.
Also spots. And so, one of the things that you can find out is whether or not someone has an active warrant.
Correct.
Now, on the particular day when you met Arthur Kelly at his tent site, you testified that you were there with, I believe it was Detective DeSilvio?
Yep, Christiane DeSilvio, yes.
All right, and Detective DeSilvio did in fact run the name Arthur Kelly through dispatch.
Yes.
It's also not uncommon to come across transient individuals in the woods inside tents in Concord who are uncooperative with police.
I'm sorry, did you say that's accurate that that's the case?
That it's not uncommon.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
All right, so I want to talk about some of the different investigation that you did in the case. So we just talked about your interaction with Arthur Kelly. That was on April 20th.
Yes.
You were also present, I believe, on April 21st when the bodies were located.
Correct.
And you were present at that time, and you testified that a thorough search was not conducted that evening.
Yeah, not a full processing, I guess we'll call it.
Not a full processing of the scene. And at some point in that evening, you left the scene.
Yes.
But that was an active scene, so when you left, there were officers still there.
Correct.
And the officers, at least 2 officers, stayed there overnight to maintain the security of that scene.
Right, once we left, we meaning the detectives, I guess, and state police, yes.
Okay, and that's to keep that area secure,
Right,
to make sure that other people aren't going in there.
correct.
All right, you testified that you were part of the process of sort of beginning to uncover the bodies, is that right?
Yes.
And during that process, you wore gloves?
I do not recall. I wasn't removing any leaves. That was other people that were, I was just present, if that makes sense.
Okay, so you were just present, you weren't the one removing leaves.
Right.
The people who were removing leaves, the people you were, observing, they were wearing gloves.
Yes, and I believe they were also using tools, not their hands.
Okay. Were you also part of the search on April 22nd, the following day?
Search meaning?
Of the scene?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Okay. And what was your role on the 22nd in searching the scene?
Essentially just to assist Detective Murray, who handles a lot of our evidence and processing and stuff like that.
All right. Did you personally do any of the searching?
I may have tried to find like shell casings, for example, on the ground, or articles of clothing, anything that may have been left in the area. But my main purpose, if I remember correctly, was just to help Detective Murray bag evidence, essentially.
Okay. And you went back again on April 23rd?
Yes,
All right. And on April 23rd, the scene was still secure,
I believe so, yes.
meaning you had to log in when you came in, you had to log out when you left.
Right,
And the general public was not allowed in that area.
correct,
You were a part of the line search on the 23rd, is that right?
yes.
Okay. Can you explain to the jury what a line search is?
So essentially, we had a large number of other law enforcement. It was us, Concord Police, but also I think Fish and Game were there, some members of state police. And essentially what we did was conducted a line search, so we all stood in one massive line at the top of, we'll just call it the hill towards Marsh Loop and walked towards Portsmouth Street, and we did it in grids, if that makes sense, of that area.
Okay. And when you say you do it in grids, what you mean is essentially you're all standing, maybe not shoulder to shoulder, but
Arm length.
arm length apart. And as you're searching, do you just stand still the whole time?
If somebody comes across a possible item of interest, we'll say, we will raise our hand or make other people known, and everyone stops, and then the lead investigator, whoever is deemed, that the person to review the evidence will come and look at that item and determine if we're going to seize it or what the next steps are.
All right, so I'm going to show you in just a moment what's been marked as State's Exhibit 75. Yes. And during this line search, approximately how many officers were involved with that?
I would say over 20. I'm not sure the exact number.
All right, so this is State's Exhibit 75. And I'm handing you a little red mouse thing. Can you show the jury exactly where it was that the line search began?
I believe it started we did this whole area, but I think we started right here where the Profile Ave connector trail is and walked down this way.
So you walked south towards where the bodies were recovered?
Yes, but we weren't initially there. We could only span, I think, this area.
Okay.
So we all walked down, and then we kind of went across this way, and we essentially covered this whole area just in sections, if that makes sense.
It does. So just so that I'm clear, there's a method to this madness.
Yeah.
It's not just like, well, let's walk this way and
Yeah.
let's walk that way, right?
Yes.
So you said that at first you walked sort of, I guess what would be the left side of where the power lines are. You walked this area here.
Yes.
And then at some point you sort of turned and you started going east.
Yeah, eventually, and until and while in the line, and searched this whole area.
All right. And you said that you're standing about arm's length apart, and there's about 20 of you. How quickly are you going?
Just I guess fast walking pace, but not slow enough to see. We're all responsible for the area of ground in front of us, so it's. We're walking, walking pace, I guess I'll say.
Okay, so you're going at walking pace and you're looking down. Are you scanning to see if you see anything?
Essentially, yes.
All right, and you said that you're responsible for the area in front of you. Is it only the area that's like, I guess, your hips?
Well, just in your field of vision.
Your field of vision. And so you're scanning from left to right looking for objects.
Right.
And during this line search, different objects were located.
I believe so, yes.
I think there was a dirty Band-Aid.
I'm not sure. I don't think located any items.
All right, you personally didn't locate any items, but like you said, you would have to stop when someone raised their hand.
Yes.
And then one of the detectives would come over and they would look at it and they would potentially collect the item that was located.
Right.
All right, and so I want to talk a little more in depth about that process when it came to the scene. So I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 78. Was this an area that was subject to the line search?
Yes, I think so. I'm just trying to picture what I'm looking at.
So this here on the left is Marsh Loop Trail.
Okay.
And then what they've labeled here is a big tree.
Okay.
And then I believe 5 is where the bodies were recovered from.
Okay, so yes.
Okay. And did that line search change at all once you were actually in the area of where the bodies were recovered? Did you, for instance, get a little closer together?
It is possible, yes.
All right. Did you perhaps walk a little slower?
It's possible, yes. I'm not sure exactly where I was positioned in that line search. I think it did get more condensed closer to that area, I guess is what I'll say.
Okay. And you and the 19 other officers that were a part of this, you were aware that this was the general area where the bodies were recovered?
I can say that I was, and maybe the other direct investigating officers. I'm not sure about like the Fish and Game and other people who were there assisting us. That I don't know.
Okay. But again, anytime anyone located something, they would raise their hand.
Yes.
All right. And at this point, were you going from essentially like west to east, or are you going north to south, south to north? What-
I believe we kind of did both, but it was kind of this way for a little bit, and then we started up above, I guess, north of your photo and went down this way in the woods portion.
Okay, so over in this area and walked south
Yeah.
this way?
Yeah.
So are you saying that no one was walking over where the trail was?
Well, we did, but we came this way first, down the hill to the trail.
I don't want to confuse anyone, so why don't you jump on down
All
here
right.
and you can just show us.
Essentially, we kind of came in a line down this way from what I can remember, into the woods. And then I'm not sure exactly how far we went, but we then came this way to make that grid, as I was saying.
Okay, thank you. You also testified that the day before the line search, on the 22nd of April, you had been assisting, was it Detective Gorham?
I'm sorry, what date?
On the 22nd, the second day.
Uh,
The day the main process.
Yeah, Detective Gorham, and Detective Murray, and a few others were there, I believe, yes.
Okay. And you said that you were mainly assisting them in processing and bagging items. There was a table set up right around tree number 2. Was that where you were doing that?
I would say I was kind of, there was a table there. We were all kind of back and forth. I think there was someone at the table. I can't remember who. But yeah, essentially.
All right. And you testified that at one point on the 22nd, you had been looking for casings?
Yeah, shell casings, bullet holes in trees, anything that would be indicative of a shooting incident, I suppose.
Okay. And can you, I'm sorry to get you back down.
That's all
I
right.
apologize. Can you show the jury what areas you personally searched?
This area here, I did a lot of looking in this area, up here. I was down here for a while. I mean, the whole general area, I would say.
Okay, did you search around, I believe there was a tree with some sort of something over in this area. Did you search that area? Up here?
Yeah, I think I assisted in looking and stuff like that, yeah.
What about the north side of tree number 1? Did you search this area?
I believe I would say yes. Yeah.
Okay, and you said that you searched this area over here on the left side of the trail.
Yes.
There's, after a little bit of distance, that sort of goes uphill, right?
Oh, yes.
But you searched that anyways,
Yeah.
and you didn't locate it?
No.
Okay, you can have a seat, thank you. You testified that you were, at the time, you were part of the POP unit, is that right?
Yeah.
And what does POP stand for again?
Problem-oriented policing.
Problem-oriented policing. And was this at the, sort of the neighborhood level? Patrol level?
Like where, like the area of which I was assigned?
Yeah.
It was within the criminal investigations division, the detective division, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you a detective or are you at a different level?
Detective.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. After this happened, one of the activities that the Concord Police Department and that you personally became a part of was regular patrols in this general trail area.
Correct.
And so how often were the Concord police coming to just patrol this area?
I'm not sure about meaning the whole agency. I'm not sure how frequently. My partner, Detective Doyne, and I had access to ATVs and I would just use the term regularly patrolled, not just this area, but all the walking trails following the incident.
Okay, so I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 76. And so this shows the trail system generally, right?
That trail system, yes.
Right, this trail system. And so when you were patrolling this area, were you only patrolling the Marshall Trail?
No, we would go off into the more remote areas and the woods in between the trails, if that makes sense.
It does. And part of the reason that you were doing this was because, you know, there was a fair amount of anxiety in the community.
Yeah, that was part of the reason, yes.
And when you were out there doing this, were you actively trying to collect evidence?
I wouldn't say actively trying, but we were cognizant of potential pieces of evidence that could be throughout the woods in that area, I suppose, yes.
Okay, and so I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that you had located.
Okay.
You had been out on the trail system on May 3rd,
Yes,
and on that particular day, you had come across a blue jacket hanging on a tree.
yes.
That was something that was collected?
It was collected, yes.
All right. Another thing that you found was some casings.
Yes.
All right, so I'm showing you what's been marked for identification as Defendant's Exhibit 19. Can you take a look at that and tell me what that is?
These are spent shell casings that have appeared to have been fired from, there's 3 9mm and 1 .22 caliber casing.
At this point, I would ask to strike the identification and enter this in as a full exhibit.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
19 is the full exhibit. Is it 1019?
Sorry, yes, it's 1019.
Right. Thank you.
Detective, where did you find those pieces, please?
I believe it was, I would say, somewhere in this general area. However, I'm not too sure. I know I have GPS coordinates of where I exactly found them submitted into the case, but from the top of my head, I would say this probably general area, but I'm really not sure.
Okay. And so you said that 3 of those casings were 9mm?
Yes.
And you had found this while you were sort of patrolling the different trail systems?
Yes.
And on this particular day, you had actually been on an ATV?
Yes.
How was it that you came to see them?
We came across a remote area in the woods where there were broken bottles, an old fire pit, maybe, I think it was. And in some of the bottles and like old beer cans were what was apparent bullet holes, as if someone was up there hanging out shooting or whatever it may be. So after generally looking around the area, came across some of those shells embedded into the ground.
All right. And so those were collected.
Yes.
I want to talk about the casings that you found at what we've been calling the burnt tent site.
Okay.
You testified on direct, excuse me, and you can correct me, I believe that the language you used was shoveling around?
Yeah, shoveling the ground and sifting through the dirt, like unearthing the ground, if that makes sense.
Okay, so the casings that you found on August 25th, though, you didn't actually find any of those underground.
I'm not sure. I don't remember any of them just laying on the ground. I think some of the ground had to be moved around, I guess I'll say.
All right, so I'm going to show you what's been marked as full exhibits 1138 and 1139. Those are from August 25th.
I would believe so, yes.
And on 1138, those placards show the different locations of the casings.
I believe so, yes.
I do have one example of placard 12, and you can see the casing on the ground there.
Yep.
And so in order to get that photograph, in order to see that, you didn't require the use of a shovel.
I'm not sure. I don't believe I personally found any of the shell casings, so I don't know exactly what was done before this picture was taken, if that makes sense.
Okay, so you don't know, you didn't personally find any of the shell casings, so you don't know exactly what was done in order to find them.
Well, I know the metal detector and altering of the ground was done to unearth a lot of them. I'm not sure how deep anyone really dug, if that makes sense.
So you didn't observe it, but you're saying that altering of the ground is required in order to locate these?
At least for a vast majority of them, yes. I think there might have been, I'm not sure how many were found digging. I don't know if digging's maybe not the right word, but from what I remember, Detective, I believe it was Gorham, who found most of them. From what I remember, she was on her hands and knees moving around the ground using the metal detector, going through the dirt. It's the best I can describe it.
Did you use the metal detector at all?
I don't believe I did that day, no.
Did you use it on a different day?
I think I grabbed them from the van to bring up to the detectives. I don't recall if I used them to search for any of the casings. When I was handling the metal detectors, it would have been at the original site on the 22nd. Yes, April 22nd.
Okay, I want to back up a little bit because you said handling them. Concord Police Department only owns one metal detector.
I'm not sure how many we own.
So you said that you handled the metal detector on the 22nd?
Yeah, I believe I think I grabbed it from the van to bring up to the site. We have an evidence van that was down on like Portsmouth, and we were bringing equipment back and forth.
And did you actually do any searching with the metal detector?
I don't remember.
Okay, if I can have one moment.
Of course.
Sure. I'm hoping you can help us with a bit of a mystery, but we'll go back to that in a moment. You testified that you went to the burnt tent site on the 25th. That's the one we're talking about now. Were you also assisting on this day on bagging different pieces of evidence and putting those things up?
I believe I was, yes.
Okay. At no point on the 25th or on the 19th, you were also there on July 19th, did you locate the remnants of a padlock at the burnt tent site?
That doesn't ring any bells to me, no.
Okay. All right, so back to our little mystery here. enforcement marked for identification as defendants exhibit 1001 and 1002. You see what that is?
Yeah, it looks like when I say us, I mean Concord Police.
Okay, it looks like Concord Police. Can you tell what day this might be on?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to show you 1002. Can you tell what this is?
It looks like that same area. Some of the ground appears to be shoveled around, and there's a tent marker indicating something was found.
The same area as the other photograph I showed.
I think so, yes.
All right. And can you tell where on the trail system this is?
I think this is Marsh Loop Trail if you're standing on the trail looking,
All right.
yeah.
And I understand that you may not know exactly when this photograph was taken, but I'm hoping maybe you can help figure out who is this individual here you with that object?
This right here?
Nope, this person here holding this object there.
I think that might be my partner, Detective Doyon, but I'm
Okay.
uncertain.
All right. We can ask Detective Doyon about that. Thank you. You testified about your trip to Vermont.
Yes.
All right. And you had testified that you first located Logan inside the price chopper.
Yes.
That's the first time you had seen him.
Yes.
And you said that he seemed to be in a meeting. That was right? Meeting?
Yeah, he was meeting with what appeared to be talking with, I guess, yeah.
Okay. He was talking with other
It appeared to be employees.
employees. Did it seem like an official staff meeting based on the body language and what you observed?
No, kind of like just people talking, I guess. Just a conversation. It didn't appear to be official, I guess, no.
All right. You did see Logan hug one or two people, right? While you were there?
I did not.
You did not?
I don't believe I did. That would have been my partner, I believe.
Okay. All right, so at some point, Logan leaves Price Chopper,
Yes.
and he goes over to, I believe, Walgreens.
Yep.
And we talked about this at the beginning. He was wearing black pants,
Yes. Yep.
and he walked over to the library.
Yeah. Yes. After he left Walgreens, over to the library.
And so he went up to the library, and you said that you were waiting some time before he was arrested.
Yes.
Now, you had gone up there and you testified that you were undercover.
Yes.
You wouldn't just show up in another state undercover without telling anyone, right?
Depends.
Okay. Either way, you were working in conjunction with Vermont Police.
Yes.
Or maybe it was specifically South Burlington.
It was at the time. I was in communication with South Burlington, but mostly Vermont State Police.
Okay, so both of those agencies then.
Yes.
And so, when you had gone up there, you did not have a warrant to arrest Logan on the homicides that we're here for today.
Correct.
In fact, you were arresting Logan on a different warrant.
Yes.
This warrant was out of Utah.
That sounds correct.
When you eventually, or when the Vermont police eventually did arrest Logan, they weren't there alone, right?
I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
It wasn't just one officer that went up to Logan and arrested him.
Right. Yes.
There were, I believe, 2 tactical rifles.
I'm not sure what Vermont State Police had at the time.
You didn't see 2 officers holding giant rifles?
I think one of them might have been a 40 millimeter non-lethal, but I'm not sure.
Okay. There were at least 6 different officers.
Sounds right.
Sounds right, or you think it's a little more or a little less?
No, I don't know if you're including my partner and I or not. I'd say 6. Yeah, 6 is a good answer.
Okay. Are you including your partner and yourself?
Yes. Well, we were there. Yeah, I would say 6 from what I can remember is
Okay, 6
Accurate.
in addition to you because you weren't part of the actual arrest.
right.
Yes?
Yes.
I can have just one.
Of course.
Connor, if I can just have one moment.
Sure, absolutely.
I apologize, Your Honor.
No problem. Would you like to use the lunch break to look?
I apologize.
That's okay.
I think
Are you there? Are you ready? Or do you want to use the lunch break?
if we could use one.
Yeah, okay. So, as I said, we're going to take a bit of a longer lunch break today.